Hey fam, welcome back to Tara's Lifestyle and Vlog, and thank you so much for stopping by. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to prevent delays in your UK visa application. Okay, but before I go on, if this is your first time of coming to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Tare, and on this channel we'll talk about UK visas and immigration. We'll talk about how to easily and safely travel to the UK. We'll talk about how to settle and navigate through life as an immigrant living in the UK. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, then please subscribe, turn on your bell icon so you don't miss out on any of my videos going forward. And to my returning subscribers, thank you all so much for always coming back to watch my videos. I appreciate every single one of you, okay? Thank you so much. So like I said before, today we're talking about how to prevent delays in your UK visa application, and this is a major issue because a lot of people have submitted the application and for some reasons it's past the processing time and they still haven't got a reply back or a response back from the Home Office. So how can we prevent this? Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we know that for every visa application that you put in to the Home Office, there is a processing time frame. For instance, the visitor's visa is about 3 weeks processing time, so your visa should be released onto you, or a decision should be made on your visa within 3 weeks. Some visa application is within 8 weeks and some of them are within 3 months. And for instance, the spouse visa is within 6 months. Okay, so within this time frame, your visa application should get a response back. But for some reasons, a lot of people put in their application and they don't get a response back. So how can we actually prevent this? There are a number of reasons why visas are delayed, and I've talked about it in series of my videos. I'll put a link up here so you can have a look. Okay, some of the reasons why UK visas are being delayed or even denied for that matter. Okay, so how can we actually prevent delays? Okay, so what I found is a lot of times when we put in our applications, we don't actually fill the form in correctly. Okay, so we just submit, we just fill in details without actually knowing what they're asking for. So the first thing we want to do is to make sure that the application we are filling is filled in correctly. Whether you're doing it on paper or you're doing it online, you need to make sure that you fill in the correct details, the correct information. Okay, and I always say if you're not sure about the application form you're filling, then you want to seek help from an immigration solicitor or an immigration advisor. So it's really important. I'd rather do that and spend money on an immigration advisor rather than be delayed for, God knows, 6 months, sometimes even a year. Okay, so make sure that the form is filled in correctly. Okay, the second thing you want to make sure is that all the requirements for that visa application are met. Okay, say for instance, if we talk about a spouse visa, okay, for instance, let's use the spouse visa as an example. One of the criteria is that you must have been in a relationship with your spouse for at least 2 years. Another requirement is that you need to make sure you have a certain amount of money in your bank account. I've done requirements of a spouse visa in my previous videos. I'll also put a link here so you can have a look at requirements. If for instance you're someone that's looking to apply for a spouse visa and you're looking for information. Okay, so there's a certain amount of money that you need to have in your bank account. There's need for English language tests. There are certain things that are required. So you want to make sure that all those requirements are met. Okay, if you're going to apply for that visa. If those requirements are not met, then there's a possibility that your visa could be delayed or even denied. Okay, so that's really important. You want to make sure that you meet the requirements for the Home Office so that they can process your visa within the time frame. Okay, so the third thing you want to do is to provide as much information as possible. Okay, so for instance, again, let's use the spouse visa. If they say prove that you have actually been in a relationship with this person for the past 2 years, you want to provide the statement from yourself. You want to provide maybe marriage certificate. Obviously, that's a requirement. You want to provide conversations that you've had over the past 2 years. If you can find as much information as possible, pictures that you have taken, so as much information as possible. It's better to have too much information than to have too little information, because if you have too much information, they'll take what they need and discard what they don't need. But if you don't provide enough information, then it could lead to a delay in your visa application. In that case, what they will do is they will ask for more information. They might contact you if you're lucky to say, oh, please, can you send us more information? And that is a delay on its own already. Because once they've sent you the email and then you take time to provide the documents you need, it will take another couple of weeks again before they respond. And if the information you've given them is not satisfactory, that further delays for you. So you want to make sure that you provide as much information as possible, okay, the required information as much as possible. You also want to make sure that you start collecting your information on time. Say for instance, you need maybe a letter from your employer, you need your bank statement, you need proof of your communication, whatever it is, whatever proof you need, you want to make sure that you start collecting this information on time. Otherwise, it will get to the point of your application, you submit your application, and then they ask you for this information which you don't have. Okay, another thing I would want to mention is that you want to go to the gov.uk website to find out what information you actually need, okay? Because sometimes we go by hearsay. Okay, this person has said you need this. Have you actually gone to find out what you need? Okay, so you want to go to the gov.uk website. That's the UK government website where you can get all the information that you need concerning whatever kind of visa you want to apply for. Okay, so you want to make sure you go there, have a look. And like I said, if you're not sure, speak to someone that's qualified, a solicitor or an immigration advisor that will help you. Okay, so the other thing you want to do is to make sure that the documents you are provided are readable and also in the required formats. For instance, the Home Office might say, okay, we need this information in a PDF document. You want to make sure that that document is actually in a PDF document and then it is transcribed or uploaded properly. Okay, so you want to make sure that this document is readable, because if the official that's dealing with your application is not able to read this document that you have provided, they will have to come back to you for more information or maybe to bring another copy, and that is further delay. You want to make sure also that your documents, any documents you're providing that is not in English, is accompanied by a certified translation. Okay, say for instance you're providing documents in French. Okay, the UK government, the UK Home Office, the majority of the officials are English speaking. They expect that every document you provide should be in English. However, if it's not in English, you want to have a certified translation so that they can know exactly what this thing is saying. Okay, so it's really important that our documentation is correct. Okay, so we want to make sure we have more than enough documentation rather than having too little information. That thing you need to do if you want to prevent delay in your visa application is to disclose the required information. Say for instance, you've had previous refusals, you want to disclose it in your application. If you have previous criminal record, you want to disclose it in your application, and also tell them how your circumstance has changed or why your visa was refused in the first place and what has changed since you had your criminal record. So you want to disclose all that information if you've been refused entry and all of that. So you want to disclose all that information, otherwise your visa will be delayed or even denied. Like I said before, if you don't have enough information, then the Home Office is going to ask you for more information if you're lucky. Sometimes they might even deny or refuse your visa straight away, but if they ask you for more information, then it means that that delay automatically delays your application, which means that your application will not be processed within the required time frame. And the truth is no one wants to be delayed, because you know the trauma of having to wait. You don't know whether you're going to get a yes or a no, and then it's being delayed. I know the feeling, I've been there, so I know it. I know exactly how it feels. So we don't want that. So you want to make sure that you have all the documentation right, so that your application will be processed within the required time frame. I know that there's been delays in UK visa application, obviously because of backlog. However, visas are now being processed within the required time frame, so we don't want any delays at all for our own fault. Okay, so this is just a quick one. I hope it's helpful. If it has helped you, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. If you have any questions, any video suggestions, anything you think you would like us to talk about, please leave them in the comment section and I'll be happy to answer your question and if possible do videos on them as well. But thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you in my next video.